Hey everyone, welcome to Group Text. Oh wow, my guest today is none other than Tia Carrere, someone who's really tough to define because she's done it all. Singer, action movie star, comedic actor, model, and something I just learned, a Grammy Award winner.
Yeah, there's
Need I
two of them. Look,
s-
right there.
There
Truth.
they are, two. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Melissa Rivers.
So nice to see you.
Nice to see you. You were on E Daily Pop when I was on there co-hosting, but they kept us apart. You
They
only got to
did.
see
They
Lonnie
couldn't
and
they couldn't handle so much fabulousness
so
on
much,
one
so much
set.
goss. We'll be like
Exactly,
talking and
exactly.
talking and talking.
So I did not know this. You were discovered in a grocery store in Waikiki.
Yep. It sounds like a made up PR, Lana Turner story, but I was modeling. So it was like I was walking around the grocery store with full pancake makeup, a garland of flowers around my head, which is called a haku headband, and a bikini. So it's not like I blended, but
No. Please tell me you weren't in heels.
no, I wasn't in heels. No. No, I had just come from this like crazy shirt photo shoot. The company in Hawaii, Crazy Shirt. And this producer's mother and father approached me and said, "Darling, you're gorgeous. You should be in my son's movie. He's looking for the female lead." And I'm like, "Me?" And I said, I have never acted before. And they said, "Well, here's a casting director, Caro Jones, who did Karate Kid. So it was on the up and up, I knew the name because I saw the movie. And next thing you know, I'm in there making pretend I'm a shy local Hawaiian girl that falls in love with a Caucasian Casanova. And I'm the female lead in this movie called Aloha Summer. And I got my SAG card and moved to Hollywood with that credit.
Nowadays people approach like that would have been very close to like a Me Too moment.
Yeah, well, this is the mother and father. They were like, they just got off the plane. They're like dressed all Beverly Hills with the, I don't know, the fur collar on the dress. I don't know. Them just, you follow your gut. And I felt these people on the up and up. I mean, I don't know why they're, think I can actually act because I've never done it before, but
And why were they in the grocery store?
picking up provisions because I just got off the plane. But I was thinking, like, what if I had zigged instead of zagged? What if I had gone down the different aisle and not run into them? I wouldn't be sitting with you here today. I just love those serendipitous occurrences that, just life takes you on a journey sometimes. It's a trip.
Well, with your level of talent, something would have happened. What was it like growing up in Hawaii? Because people always think of growing up in Hawaii as this mythical journey.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize you're still going to school, you're still in high school. For a lot of people, high school sucked, starting with me.
Yeah, I was sad and lonely for most of my schooling. The funny thing is people go, "Oh, is it like the Descendants, which is like Kahala and beautiful and gorgeous?" I'm like, "No, I come from the opposite of the Descendants. Like the area I came from is mostly known for their incarceration rates, public housing, and where Dog the Bounty Hunter did his best work." So it took me an hour on two buses to get to school. I went to the all girls Catholic school in quite a different area, but it was that scrappiness and determination that made me tough to deal with Hollywood, I guess.
So you've won 2 Grammys, yet, which I love, you appeared on Star Search.
Yeah, but
It-
not as a singer, not as a
What
singer.
were you?
In the-
Were you a spokesmodel?
no, they were all full up for that too. So random, they had like this really whacked category, acting category. Now, how do you choose best actor? Who's better? De Niro or Pacino? Oh, I'll give him a 1.75. I'll give him a 2.0. It's like it's inquantifiable. So it's kind of a harebrained scheme. But I did, it was on for the first couple seasons, and I did a skit with a guy, and yeah, so I didn't win, but that's okay. It turned out okay in the end.
Yeah. Do you remember who did win?
No, I don't. She had short blonde hair. I actually should go and find that and see if that person went on to, have a career or not. Very interesting.
Uh, who encouraged you? I mean, what made you want to compete? Because you were young.
I wanted to do the spokesperson thing. That's the part that I wanted to do because I was modeling. I
Right.
came here to make a living. I was modeling with Nina Blanchard.
Oh, Nina was a friend of my parents.
Oh, really? She was really
Yes.
kind because when the boyfriend that I moved here with stole all my money and left me homeless, she let me live in the hallway of her house because she would let models stay in the bedrooms in her house, but there was nothing available and I had no place to live. So she said, there's a single bed. You could like sleep in the hallway between two of the bedrooms. And I was there for like, I don't know, 6 months till I earned enough money again to get first, last, and deposit on an apartment.
So who was this scumbag boyfriend?
Ugh, he who shall remain nameless. The kind of person that would probably sue me if I said his name out loud. But
Oh,
yeah, the people that know, if you know, you know. But
oh.
you know, didn't destroy me. I didn't have a plan B, so I just kept moving forward.
So when was, because you are a singer, when was the first time you sang in public? I was just
Um,
talking to someone and talked about a singer, and the very first time they sang in public, they were 5 years old.
no, I was 11 when my grandma took me to my first singing lesson, and he was like, "Wow, she's got a real gift," and blah blah blah, and this and that. I'm trying to think if it was, I entered the talent contest, and that's actually how I met Daniel Ho, who I won the Grammys with. He and I performed at the Waikiki show when we were like 14 in front of 5,000 people. It was a talent contest of all the schools for the radio station KIKI, and it was called Brown Bags to Stardom. And that was my first big singing thing, but I sang at shopping malls. I sang at hotel bars that my family happened to be going to in Hawaii or Samoa. So I was always getting up and singing.
What song did you sing in the competition? Do you remember?
It was, well, once was the Air Supply song, The One That You Love. Now the night has gone. Now the night has gone away. And then the next time was a New York medley. I know, random from a girl from Hawaii, but I
Yeah.
wanted to sing New York, New York.
So start spreading the news.
Exactly. And I was wearing like this whole showgirl costume with the top
Top
hat,
hat.
my legs up with fishnet stockings. I don't know who the hell I thought I was. But I got in trouble with Mother Superior because she said that some of the alumni were very disappointed how I was representing their school and that the costumes were indecent in some way. I'm like, I see worse on the beach in
Yeah.
public. I was like, what's so indecent about, like, it wasn't like the high cut ones either. It was like the low cut
Yeah.
ones that make you like hippie and cut your legs off,
Uh-huh.
they're cut so low. It was one of those. I don't understand.
Right after Star Search, you went on to General Hospital and a million other TV shows. And I was looking at this, the A Team,
Yep. Yep. They
Married
wanted
with,
me to be a regular on there too.
well, and then Married with Children. Looking at your
Quantum
resume,
Leap.
but it makes me feel like you're kind of a girl that can't say no. Like you were just taking jobs.
Oh yeah, when you're building your career, and especially think back, there was nobody on TV that looked like me. So if they were, willing to put me on the show, I'm like, the answer is yes, because it was hard. It was a hard slog out there. Most of the time, it was we weren't thinking of going ethnic with that role. We weren't thinking of going exotic with that role, which means you have to be all American, blonde hair, blue eyed, or the girl next door brunette. So yeah, damn straight. If there was a job that would have me, I'd go and take it.
And especially at that time. And it just
Mhm.
it speaks to how not just talented, but multi-talented you are.
I don't know.
You were
Stubborn,
not
stubborn.
stubborn. I got stubborn too. But to overcome what was typically cast.
Yeah, it was disappointing, especially when I heard from the casting director, like, you did a great reading. Oh, I love that. And then, okay, so then you're waiting for the call. And then the agent says, well, I was like, what? What? Tell me straight. Like, well, they don't want to go ethnic with the role. I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, of course, I know what it meant. And I saw the shows on TV, on network TV. It was very homogenous, very all
Homogenous.
American,
It's very homogenous.
homogenous, like milk.
Kind of. Uh, so your breakout role, which we all know, is Cassandra in Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. Were you I know the answer to this is going to be yes. So I don't even know why I'm asking it because you're so aware of everything. Did you know the characters before the audition?
I did not. I did
Really?
not. I did not watch SNL because it was on too late. I go to sleep early. I still do. Like I'll start closing my eyes like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So to stay up for SNL, now at least, I mean, we have TiVo, we had TiVo, so I could start recording it. But back then, no, I didn't see it. So only one of my friends, who strangely enough was from Mexico, would stay up late and watch SNL and said, this movie's going to be huge. And the only reason why I really wanted it is I read the role and I thought 17 to 23, sings like rocks like Pat Benatar, no accent, but with her, she has a heavy Cantonese accent. Like I've seen in the Philippines or in Asia, these cover bands where they basically can, sound flawless. Like Arnel Pineda, who was discovered for a journey, he has a Filipino accent, but on stage he sings just like Steve Perry, flawless. So it's a very interesting sort of dichotomy. And then doing the martial arts, being funny and looking a certain way. I was like, this will be mine. Oh yes, this will be mine. And I just held on to that truth because I wanted that job.
How did you get the role? How did it all come about?
Just a regular way where, there's this thing called breakdown services, and it's like a sheath of paper that you used to get. Now it's on digital, right. I guess, but it would say, this is the show, these are the producers, this is a casting director, these are all the roles they're searching for. So it was the top, Cassandra Wong, 17 to 23, yakety blah, 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 submit. And so they submitted me and I went and I read for it and I read for it and I read for it. And meanwhile, Baywatch wanted me for a role. And I'm like, no, put that off, because this is the one I'm going to get. And thank God I didn't lose both because I could have. It was a real, gamble. But I remember the last time I went in for Wayne's World at Paramount, it was like Hawk Koch, the producer, and John Goldwyn, the head of the studio, and Mike Myers came out and he said, can I speak to you? And he said, you're my choice. You're really great. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, I went in, I was like all puffed up. I'm like, yes, I'm doing the right thing. Penelope Spheris was in there and she's like a tough rocker chick. So I was like intimidated. I'm like, I'm only approximating a rocker chick. I hope they don't see through me. But just him saying that nice thing really put wind in my sails and made me more, sure of myself when I walked in.
And did he read with you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how unusual that is now?
Oh, for people to read with you? Well, I mean, I've done so many Zoom, not Zoom, even self-tapes where you're taping yourself in your living room and there's nobody reading with you. You're like, okay.
Got it. This is weird.
Yeah, different time.
But what a fun legacy.
I mean, I can't believe the depth and breadth of my career since 1984 coming here. And then now all these huge movies. And then this time of like, okay, I'm going to stay at home mostly and take care of my daughter and be Girl Scout troop leader and chaperone for all the sleepovers and do that whole thing. And now to have another huge movie coming out in over 3,000 screens. I'm so grateful that I just stayed the course, did the right thing for me. I didn't miss out on having a child and being that, a mom. And it's a hard thing for women because we really do have to choose that this is going to be my priority for this period of time. And it's such a finite time. And now there's more work on the other side of it. So thank God, the gamble paid off again.
You went, this killed me, from basically Wayne's World to
True Lies.
Mm-hmm. Very different.
Mm-hmm.
And one's a fun laughy set and one's we're gonna rig you to this helicopter and you're gonna, like that's two very different experiences.
There was a torture scene, oh my gosh, but they cut out this one line that was so gangster. I look at Jamie Lee, I put a grenade between her legs, I pull the pin and I say, now you just keep your legs together and you'll be fine. Like, keep your knees together and you'll be just fine. And she's got this grenade between her legs, but I guess it was a whole nother action sequence to get rid of that. So, they decided to take that part out. But yeah, it was quite something. Action, like this really nasty piece of work that works with terrorists. It was such a great departure to show, the range, which is what you want as an actor.
But James Cameron, very intense to work with.
He was amazing.
But intense.
Hard. But he's hard on his crew and his lighting guys and his effects guys. But his actors, he was the most generous and amazing and kind and inviting person. Okay, I'm fifth guy on the totem pole. Like I'm sixth spear carrier from the left in the hierarchy of things. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's Tom Arnold, and Bill Paxton, all these people, amazing actors, big names. And he comes over to me after one of my scenes and he goes, "Hey Tia, is there anything you want to do different? Here, come take a look." And he shows me, everybody standing around, hundreds of people, right? Shows me the scene on the monitor. Nobody takes the time to show you the scene on monitor, and certainly not anymore because time is money. But I guess that's why the movie took a year to shoot. But then he shows it to me and I'm like, well, I didn't realize I'm slouching in that. And I feel like if I had my shoulders back and my head held high, that maybe I would command the space and like hold my head differently, and maybe pitch my voice down a little bit so that I sound more, commanding. And he's like, yeah, let's try that. Okay, great. That a director of that caliber with other people, unheard of. That's what I'm saying. That's why he gets the performances that he does. There are things that he has to rush. It's like, let's set this, stunt up, or, not the stunts, because that's also dangerous, but setting up the lighting and the effects. And I'm sure he's very demanding on them and their time, because he's on the set also. He and Arnold were on the set, 18 hours. They barely went to the bathroom, and they would come back and they'd be on the set the whole time. So they demand a lot of themselves. And so they demand a lot of their crew. But with in my acting realm and seeing how he treated other actors, unbelievable. So gentle, and it makes you feel more confident to bring your A game, because you get, intimidated, you close down, and you don't come out there with all of you because you're kind of scared and whatever. And so he makes you feel so comfortable as a performer. I was so grateful.
You brought up something interesting about I could have stood up, I could have commanded this. Did you ever take classes? Who did you train with as an actor?
Okay, so I never did any training till I came here to Los Angeles. And because it was the actor that I acted opposite on Star Search, thought I was going to make him look bad because I'd never done any acting before, except for this one fluke job, Aloha Summer, my first movie where I was discovered in the grocery store. So he put me with his acting coach, so I would be better opposite him. And where is he now? I don't know, but it turned out okay in the end for me. But so I thankfully met Mark Spiegel, who was my longtime acting coach. He was at this Vincent Chase studio, which is funny. That's the name of the lead character in Entourage. I'm just wondering if one of the writers there took classes from Vincent Chase, because he named the lead character Vincent Chase.
Could be.
Mark Spiegel taught me like 10 to 12, 1 to 4, and 7 to 10 every day for a couple years. I was in these group classes, and between that and just working on everything I could, got better and better, and got to play pretend to the best of my abilities.
People don't realize how much even the top working actors still work with a coach.
Yeah, I've been needing to train with a coach. I've just been missing that because he passed away now. I mean, after that, I studied at Herbert Bergdorf in Uta Hagen's studio in New York, and then another guy here, Eric Morris, and sort of been bouncing around. But I'd like to go back to Risa Brayman. I took some of her classes, but it's far. Westlake Village to Burbank, it's super far. So I don't know.
But it's a muscle. You've got to keep working out.
Yeah.
So you've gotten to work with all these amazing people, and you are the only word that comes to mind is deft comedian. And this I love. You appeared as Richard Lewis's girlfriend on season 6 of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but this is what kills me. You played his daughter in Anything But Love back in the 90s. Okay, Kind of
Yep.
weird. Kind of weird.
Yep. That's why
Kind of
I use
weird.
that as an example. This is what it's like being a woman in this business. It's a brutality. It's an absolute brutality from being like the young daughter that he paid, you give money to like save the children or something. So I'm from Thailand. I come to his place on Anything But Love, and he gives me like a Chicago Bears jersey, and I wear it like a dress. And he's like, oh my God, I'm having all these unclean thoughts about my daughter. So it was like this whole, Lolita thing going on, to not that many years later playing his girlfriend on the show. And I made the joke, I'm like, next year I'll be playing your mother, because that's what it's like being a woman in this business.
But because, yeah, and he's hilarious.
Richard.
He is hilarious.
Yeah. And I worked with Jamie Lee on that before True Lies. So, I mean, that was so crazy working with her on the sitcom and then working with her on True Lies.
You're kind of part of an ad hoc troupe.
Oh, goodness. We're just like the team of survivors that just, you knock us down, we keep getting back up again. I think resilience is everything. You got to be resilient. Don't take anything personally.
No, let's talk about Easter Sunday in theaters now. Looks hilarious.
Everybody in that movie is hilarious. I mean, there's so many ad libs that aren't in it. I was like, if they put it all in, it probably would have been 3 hours long, but it was a blast.
And it's about, obviously, a family celebrating Easter. And you are, now let me see if I've got this right. The movie's about a Filipino family with a lot of big personalities. Mm-hmm. You're Spanish, Filipino, and Chinese. Mm-hmm. What is the dynamic at your family gatherings? Because again, a lot of big personalities.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is very, this is a departure from my family. Well, actually, no, I am in that. My immediate family, very reserved, kind of quiet. My grandmother was very, churchy, very demure, and didn't say much. But the extended family, when we get together with she had like 11 brothers and sisters. So we had a lot of cousins, a lot of food on the table, like you see in the movie. And my auntie Dolly, she was a big personality, just like body, and been married 5 times, and just hilarious, just owns the room. So I cherry picked different people in the neighborhood that I grew up in, which was primarily Filipino, family members, just selectively emphasized some of that, and just had fun with it, and embraced the accent and the personalities and everything about it, really celebrating our culture.
What in your family, or even now, especially because it's always such a hot topic in family gatherings, is the off-limit topic?
Well, I think for everybody these days is politics, because my father voted for Trump, very much of that mindset, which I don't understand, him being a brown man from another country. I don't see what's in it for you, Dad, but okay, maybe it's the grab the girls by the crotch thing that really lights you up. I don't know.
That sealed the deal for him.
Yeah, he aspires to being the crotch grabbing supermodel marrying guy, but yeah, we can't talk about that. I think it's, if you start going online and you're seeking your certain type of news, the algorithm takes you further and further afield, and we can't even understand each other's point of view anymore, which is sad. But we still text and.
Yeah, but I say, so pre-Trump,
yeah,
with my family was, do not bring up the neighbors to my aunt. Do not ask about her neighbors.
Oh,
because
that's funny.
It was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. That was her drunk uncle moment.
Oh.
It was because it's so funny. Like your dad, but so we don't talk about, although my cousins, who are brother and sister, did have a knockdown, drag out fight one Thanksgiving when they came out to see me at Disneyland about Trump while we were in the Harry Potter world.
Oh no.
Screaming at
oh no, that's hilarious. You should have been in the movie. I like your stories better than mine. Mine are boring.
No. So what an incredible, incredible cast.
Yeah. Jo
Tiffany
Koy,
has Jo Koy, Jimmy Yang. It had to be not necessarily intimidating, but it had to give you pause walking onto a set with these major, not just actors, but stand-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And the brains going like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, really fast, and with the quips and trying to figure out like where to throw your stuff in. Unfortunately for me, it was the storyline was pretty clear, and when I get into it with the mom, it's just she and I. But when you get into the whole group and everybody's bringing the funny, I'm just dying trying not to laugh. But I also had that experience on Curb Your Enthusiasm, being
Right.
intimidated in a room of like, Ted Danson, Mary Steenburgen, Richard Lewis, Larry David, Jeff Garlin. I mean, are you kidding me? How do I get a word in edgewise? And they all know each other. So that was really intimidating.
And you said there was a ton of improv that didn't make it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
again,
wish we could see the outtakes.
but again, coming from Curb, are you surprised that that vibe has kind of become your wheelhouse?
Improvisation.
But being in these sort of groups that improv with each other, and and no one doubts that you can't keep up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome, but I'm glad I've gotten a little more comfortable in my skin, so I can speak up and throw something out there. But yeah, it's funny because I was always terrified of improv.
Well, you're so
I,
naturally funny.
that's what people say. I don't understand what they mean. So I guess that makes me funny because I just don't understand why I'm funny, because I'm being dead serious.
Yeah. So it's got to be at this point in your life looking back and going, wow, they've all seen something in me that I am not so self-aware of, which is what makes you even funnier.
Yeah, but I would like to I'm inspired because I really admire stand-up comics, and I just did Bobby Lee's podcast. Bobby Lee, I did a movie with many years ago, and he was on Mad TV.
Yep.
He said, "Hey Tia, if you ever want to get up and do like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you have an open invitation." And I felt this like fear welling up in me. I was like, so I thought, I wonder if there's something there. Should I try it just to see, even just to bomb, just because it's one of those bucket list things. I'm so intrigued by it. I have great respect for it. And I wonder what it feels like to be up there, just you and the microphone in your brain. That's, to me, like blows my mind.
Yeah, if that's on your bucket list, you are extremely, extremely sick and you need to call your therapist immediately.
I know, it's crazy. It's like, there's something wrong. It's screwless. But I mean, that's my theory. Most people that come to Hollywood have got to have some deep foundational cracks in their psyche. Why else would you put yourself up as the product and say, okay, shoot holes in me. I'm the product. Go ahead, take me down, tear me down.
Yeah, there's only one set crazier than stand-ups, and that's writers, which stand-ups are intrinsically. Trust me, I grew up with one. Easter Sundays.
Well, it's incredible. That's, I mean, to me, like seeing Hacks and thinking about what your mom did, it just, I mean, I wish I had those balls, because it's like to get up and say, this is what's on my mind, and I'm going to tell you about it. And whether you like it or not, whether you laugh or not, it's out there. Me and the mic and how you receive me. Whoo, that is gangster right there.
Well, if you ever want to do it afterwards, I have a very good therapist whose children I'm pretty sure I'm putting through college.
I was in therapy for 30 years, so maybe that's what's kept me from actually going there.
Oh, well, then good on them. So Easter Sunday is produced by Steven Spielberg. What was it like to get the call saying, Spielberg wants you in his new movie?
Nobody called me saying that, first of all. I don't even know if he knows I'm alive, but
I think he does.
But Joe told us because first of all, I knew about Dan Lin, who did the Lego movies, the It movies, amazing guy, hugely successful. And then they brought it over to Amblin. Steven Spielberg, it's like, boom, boom. It's like, I'll see your, Ryback, and I'll raise you in Amblin. It's like, how did we get so blessed? But it's Joe, his comedy. He saw, I guess Spielberg saw his comedy act, that 11 show sold out show thing that he did in Hawaii. And he saw that there's something about this multicultural sort of celebration, of laughing with, not laughing at, the differences and the similarities between different ethnic backgrounds. And He's like, yeah, let's do a movie with him. And so it just happened really fast. I mean, you just hold on for dear life and go, okay, I'm going to bring my A game because some big eyes are watching this.
You have worked with so many fascinating leading men. I mean, Schwarzenegger, Sean Connery, RuPaul.
Yeah.
Which of them made you swoon?
I gotta say, Sean Connery was legendary. And he was, I don't know, I was playing his love interest at like 30 and he was like 70, but holy cow, he had a presence about him. He was movie star quality. When we were all sitting around the round table, it's like Philip Kaufman, Oscar winning director, Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, Wesley Snipes, all these incredible people around the table. We're laughing, talking. The door opens. It's Sean Connery, and just the silence, like a hush. Greatness has entered the room. He just had that kind of,
Charisma.
personality, and people had respect for that. And then he said something funny with his funny accents, and then everybody laughed, and we were back to it. But that was something to be in that presence.
Where, I mean, look at all these years later, you still remember that moment.
Yeah.
When a movie star walked into the room.
Yeah, he's 007. Yeah. And I remember he used to say, when you walk into a room with your head held high and your shoulders held back, you look like you belong. And that's his whole thing, was about posture and carriage and holding yourself a certain way. And he did that. And like, Tia, because I was a sloucher. I would always slouch. And
sit it up. So you and I have something in common, which we both survived. Celebrity Apprentice. We're a part of the Survivors Club. And I have said it many times. I was shocked how much of a grind it was, and how seriously you take it, and how intense and personal, and people are out for blood.
People were nasty.
Oh God, everyone's out for blood. What was your season like? What was your experience like? Because there are some people, if I ever see them, I would have to, and they walked in front of my car, I would have to
run them over.
Well, I would have to really make that decision whether I should accelerate or step on the brake. I would just like, some of them, I would just like to tap them. Just bump them and just give them a warning shot.
But knowing the kind of person they are, knowing they'll sue you for everything that you own, would you want to give them money on top of that? No, thank you very much.
Like I said, just tap them. Just tap them.
Yeah, then they fall down and say, I have blurred vision and I don't know if I can, I'm having a little, stroke, whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
What was your experience?
Don't do it, Melissa. It's not worth it.
But
they're not worth it.
The fantasy is fantastic.
I know.
What was your season like?
I always say, it's a show that I did for charity, for after school all stars.
Right. We all did it. People don't realize it's like we all did it for our charities, and a lot, by the way, and a lot of money for our charities.
Yeah, but it was the least charitable behavior I saw on the part of like the women on that show, certainly. But there are people that had more experience with the reality TV side, and they knew how to like roll their eyes at you when your back was turned and they're looking at the camera. They go like, or like, making fun, that kind of thing. And no discernible talent. I mean, it's like whatever, so beneath my view of the world. So not even worth engaging. But when you're on a team together and then somebody's gunning for you, it's really hard to just, compose yourself. But I thought, for me, it's not to win this. For me, the win is to maintain my dignity and to work hard, which is, in my DNA. Just hard work and perseverance will get me where I want to be. And, unfortunately, that doesn't play well to reality TV cameras. So.
But people don't understand what hard work that show is.
Yeah. You're sleep deprived.
Completely.
And you're hungry. They don't bring you the food on time.
Yeah. You're sleep deprived, you're hungry, and usually in heels.
And extremely stressed.
Stress level 10. And I always thought it was kind of unfair because the men
could sleep in.
Yes, because we all had to be in hair and makeup.
Yeah, at like 5 a.m. And the men are still sleeping till like 9.
And you sleep, and you're there 6 days a week.
It was nuts. It was nuts.
Like I said, we're survivors.
Yeah. Kind of wish I didn't do it though. Kind of wish I didn't do it.
Well, you did.
That one could drop off my resume and I'd be fine with it.
I know, but think of the club we're in together.
Oh, goodness.
So I've come up with a lightning round for you.
Uh-oh.
Specifically about Easter Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Quick answers. Funniest moment on set.
Off screen, dancing around and singing at the top of our lungs.
Loudest person on set.
Joe.
Who took the longest to get ready?
Me.
Love
Me.
Love that you own that. Favorite moment while filming?
Where Joe and Lydia have this heartfelt conversation around the table where they come back together and they're both crying. Everybody around the table was crying.
Oh, who made you break character the most often?
Joe. Well, he can't, because I'm Tita Teresa, and we seen, he was like, Tia. I was like, I couldn't get it out during this routine. Like, come on. And then I'm watching, waiting for it to happen. So then I start laughing. It was one of those where it just, and it was the first day of shooting. Like, it's not going to take me this long in the future, I promise.
Whose scenes were the most fun to watch besides your own?
Oh gosh. I loved watching the girl that plays my daughter, Melody Boutiu, and Joey Juila, who's been on tour with Joe in comedy. The two of them as husband and wife were hilarious. But also Rodney Toe that plays my brother in it with the knives and stuff. I mean, they're all so skilled with the comedy, and they're stage actors, but they're really top-notch improvisers. So anything that they said, I was just like, trying to turn away so that you don't see me laughing. Every single one of them.
Well, I cannot wait to see it. Tia, so good to see you.
Nice to see you. Maybe next time I'm on Daily Pop, we can actually be on screen together.
That would be a blast. Except I think I was drinking. Oh yeah, I did drink out of a bottle that day.
Oh, did you? Well, they're giving us drinks in the morning. It's like 9, 8 in the morning. They're giving us, you want a cocktail? It's Friday.
Well, I was on the show making cocktails.
Oh,
like we were doing like a cocktail thing, and I don't even know how I ended up making a cocktail. I think they had seen some of my Melissa Can't Cook TikTok videos or something. So they had me making some sort of a cocktail, and Lonnie got me going.
Oh,
so my here gosh. We are 9 in the morning, and I'm like, vodka to taste. And I just kept pouring whatever it was. And finally, I knew the joke was there. I just drank out of the bottle and handed it to her.
And then you played Spin the Bottle, and you have no recollection of it whatsoever, but it's on TV.
There you go. Tia, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you Easter Sunday, everybody.